The White House on Monday revealed who is running the country with President Joe Biden on his second week of vacation. You know better than that. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby scolded the reporter who asked who was running the country. The president is on vacation, but you can never unplug and from a job like that. Nor does he try to, Kirby said in a Zoom briefing with reporters. He pointed out Biden spoke with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday and talked to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday as proof the president is working. Biden, 81, is at his beach home in Rehoboth, Delaware, after spending a week at a private 8,000-acre ranch in Santa Ynez, Calif. He is scheduled to return to the White House after Labor Day weekend. Vice President Kamala Harris is in Washington, D.C., with nothing on her public schedule until Wednesday, when she heads to Georgia for a 2-day bus trip to campaign in the state. The White House has long argued Biden can perform the duties of president wherever he goes. When the president travels, a staff member on the National Security Council travels with him to keep him briefed on foreign affairs, and a staffer in the Chief of Staff's office is with him to keep him updated on domestic matters. He and First Lady Jill Biden arrived at their multi-million-dollar beach house in Rehoboth on Sunday evening. Biden is on his 114th visit to Delaware, spanning all or part of 328 days, according to journalist Mark Nola, who tracks presidential travel. That is much more when compared to Donald Trump at a similar point in office. He spent 51 visits and 240 days at either of his estates in Mar-a-Lago, FLA, or Bedminster, NJ. It's the second week in a row of downtime for the Bidens. They jetted off to Santa Ynez, California, on Monday night after Biden addressed the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. The couple, along with their children and grandchildren, stayed at a California ranch owned by Democratic donor billionaire Joe Kiani. The property sits about 3 hours north of Los Angeles in Santa Barbara wine country. Kiani has been a major donor to Biden's campaigns and a friend to the family. Hunter Biden paid a visit to the $50 million vineyard property last year. Dubbed the Kiani Preserve, the 8,000 acres has its own private vineyard, donkeys, and a cattle herd. The vineyard on the property produces bottles of Shiraz and Cabernet Sauvignon, among other wines. The president doesn't drink, but the First Lady is known to enjoy a glass or two of wine. Biden exited the presidential race on July 21 after his terrible debate performance against Donald Trump, which led to concerns about his mental abilities. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president, Biden said in his July 24 Oval Office address. This Monday, Biden remained out of sight as his predecessor and possible successor, Donald Trump, visited Arlington National Cemetery to pay tribute to the 13 Americans killed 3 years ago in a bombing outside the Kabul airport during the Afghanistan evacuation. The former president laid a series of wreaths at the tomb of the unknown soldier and then paid a private visit to Section 60, the area of the cemetery where those killed in Afghanistan are buried. He was joined by family members of some of the U.S. soldiers who were killed in a bombing at Abbey Gate. He was accompanied by 2 Marines who were injured in attack Sepal. Kelsey Lanehart, who was paralyzed in the attack and now uses a wheelchair, and Teat. Tyler Vargas Andrews, who lost his right arm and left leg. The visit also enabled him to tie his rival Kamala Harris to what he calls the most embarrassing moment in our history. Trump has repeatedly criticized President Joe Biden's handling of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Biden was in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, on Monday, starting the second week of his summer vacation. The visit also allowed Trump to counter reports he doesn't respect veterans and has previously referred to slain World War II soldiers as suckers and losers, reports Trump has denied. The former president laid 3 wreaths at the tomb, 2 honoring Staff Esk, Taylor Hoover and Teat. Nickel G, 2 Marines killed in the bombing, and another wreath dedicated to all 13 service members who were killed in the attack. He also took flowers to the grave of G. Ryan Noss, a Marine killed in the attack, and spoke to Noss' parents who couldn't be there, according to his campaign. Spotted with Trump at the event was Tulsi Gabbard, the former Democratic congresswoman who is now helping Trump with his debate prep.